So, what should you do if a motivated seller insists on listing their property and you are not an agent? This could be a big problem for you if you haven't really put these steps in place that we're going to talk about in this video, because we see this happening every single day. A motivated seller requests a cash offer, meets with an investor, and yet, they run through the numbers. The investor does their pitch about why it's so much better to work with an investor. And yet, at the end of the day, the seller just insists that they need to list their property. In fact, it might be the right thing for them to list their property. The hotter the market is, the more people are going to want to get retail price, the more they feel they should get the top dollar. And in many cases, the best way to do that is by listing with an agent. So this is oftentimes actually in the client's best interest. And remember that every seller we speak to is an opportunity to serve and an opportunity to earn, both of those things. So let's talk about how we can serve this client and also earn something for our time. The first easiest way that we could do this, if we're not an agent and the seller is insisting on listing, it's very catchy, by the way, is we can just refer that seller to an agent that we trust for free. And in return, we can ask that agent to send their non-retail sellers our way, or keep us in mind as a buyer for properties that might need some repair, fix and flips, like just keep us in their back pocket. Real estate agents can live and die by their referrals. It's so crucial to their business, and they just don't get nearly enough of them. There's reports that talk about this, how like it's a very small amount of their business is consistently coming from referrals, and yet it's a huge revenue source for them. So agents are very hungry for these. And yet for you, this is really the least revenue, but the easiest to do is just to refer it, build that goodwill with that agent. And then when that agent has something, they'll send it your way. You'll make money down the line. It's a way to potentially make more money and to be a really great person. And this agent will love you forever, and they'll probably give you some free stuff. So that's something, but it's not my favorite. And it's not why you're watching this video. What I would really recommend is option B, is you set up a pay per introduction model where an agent will pay you to be introduced to a qualified seller that you send their way. I would charge at least $100 per seller, and I would live transfer them to the agent in real time. By live transfer, I mean you have the seller on the phone and you call the agent and you bridge the two calls together and you introduce the seller to the agent, and you kind of explain the situation. You make sure that the seller knows that this agent is just the best in the business. They're going to get you the top dollar. You're going to sell it the quickest. It's painless. The communication is great. And then you tell the agent, and you kind of act like you're going to bat for the seller. I mean, not act, you are. You help the agent know, the great qualities about this property, what this guy's motivation is, or girl, and what he's really looking to do. You create that relationship where you're the linchpin, you're like crucial to making this whole thing happen. And then you step back and you let it go. Still check in with the seller every once in a while just to see how it's going, and maybe congratulate them when they sell their home. But you get rewarded from the agent. That phone call that you did is worth many times more than $100. Even if that doesn't turn into a listing, and it's 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10 of these turns into a listing, that is worth a lot of money just for that introduction. So $100 is an absolute bargain. And most likely that more than pays for the lead cost that you spent to generate it. So that's super valuable to the agent. It's super valuable to you. It's super valuable to the seller. That's a win-win-win right there. But another way you could do this, instead of just charging on a pay per introduction model where it's, they're only paying you $100 every time one of these things happen, is you could also do a bit of a hybrid where you're charging a flat rate retainer model that would guarantee you fixed income. So let's say you could charge an agent $2,000 a month. This would obviously require you to step up and be consistent, but it could absolutely be a win-win where the agent is going to get a steady flow of qualified sellers that you've introduced them to in real time, not leads that they have to chase, not people just curious about what their property's worth, but people who actually want to sell, because that's what you have, right? You have a motivated seller in your pocket. And for you, this is consistent income. And if you're at about $2,000 a month, in most markets, that's probably going to cover at least a good chunk of your marketing budget for motivated sellers. If you're spending a lot more than that, then charge more or go get multiple agents. If you've got enough leads, then go get 2, 3, or 4 agents, each paying you that same thing. There is money to be made in this. Like we say this a lot, but if you, with motivated sellers coming to you, there's money to be made. And agents right now are desperate for more sellers. They're desperate for inventory. It's part of why the market is so crazy right now. There's just not enough homes being listed. Time on market is crazy low. Agents need sellers. You have sellers. It's a pretty easy way to make money. We'll do some more videos on how you can actually find those agents, and some scripts and some tips you could use to actually get them to pay up front for the seller leads that you are either currently generating or are about to generate. But this is a great way to have all of your marketing paid for, which is a huge win for you. And it serves the seller and it serves the agent. Everybody's winning. Everybody's happy. Everybody's getting what they want, right? What else do you need?